When I was younger, I always wanted to live in a big city. And for the first 5 years of my adult life, that was my reality. Quite the opposite of where I'm living now. I had this false narrative built up in my head about small towns. Because I grew up in one, I viewed it as something that I had already done, something that I was done with. But in those years, I never appreciated the perspective small town life can offer. And it took me coming back to Massachusetts to realize that. This was the first and maybe most important thing that I've learned. The power of embracing the current situation. I'm someone who is always looking to the future. I enjoy moving around, experiencing different things, but that mindset held me back from appreciating the now. This didn't come easy or quick to me. It was months and months of being around people who were passionate about living here that opened my eyes.
It's gonna be beautiful. I promise.
Many of us are in places or situations we don't love. For me, this isn't a place I want to stay forever. But accepting that reality has really deepened my experience. Things that I previously wouldn't put any stock into are now meaningful. When I was able to step back and look at this part of my life as just that, a part of it, I became immediately happier. I also noticed a change in my professional life. When I was living in a city, it was easy to get caught up in what everyone else was doing. There's so many inputs, so much to do. It can be hard to know what you actually want, what you actually think. There is definitely something to be said about being around other like-minded people. It's necessary for growth. I'm glad I have friends here who I can creatively look up to. But I think that when you're always surrounded by people who are doing the same thing, you all start doing things the same way. And being here, I was forced into finding inspiration not in other filmmakers around me, but in everyday life. And I'm not saying I never want to be with people in my industry. I think that mindset can be extremely limiting. But for a short period of time, being isolated has forced me to think about what kind of work I want to be doing and what kind of stories are important to tell. I'll never forget this conversation I had with a designer on a job Kyle and I were doing in El Paso. We were sitting at the hotel bar after a long day of shooting, and he was talking about the power of being separated from the noise. He really drove home the point that you should never get distracted with what anyone else is doing. Let people judge you. As long as you stay true to yourself and don't get influenced by the masses, you're going to be able to build something for yourself that is truly unique. These words were all things that I already believed in, but something about hearing it in that setting really stuck with me. One thing I admire so much about my parents is that they've lived in so many different countries, and in turn, they've experienced many different realities. This is something that I'm trying to emulate in my own life. It just doesn't make sense to me to live in only one place. In my time living in Boston, Rome, and now here, I've had so many experiences I never thought I would. Became friends with people so drastically different from me. Just makes me genuinely excited to continue to do this throughout my life. I think that having the perspective that my time here is just a finite chapter helps me to try to experience it to the fullest. So, this is the small town chapter.